quorum though.
We do have a quorum. We have 4.
Yep.
So we are going to jump right into it. And we'll skip around our agenda a little bit and hope that Alicia joins us soon. Maren wants us down as well. But again, I would like to call the November 8th, 2022 Town of Littleton Finance Committee meeting into order. We are meeting virtually via Zoom, and we have a quorum this evening, which is great. Thank you, everybody. Our agenda for tonight is fairly quick and simple. We have a finance director update, followed by public input. After that, our member updates, approving previous meeting minutes, and adjournment. So seeing as the finance director has not yet joined, we will jump forward to our next agenda item, which is public input. It does not appear we have anyone in the waiting room, so if you will move along to the member updates. Brian, do you have anything that you would like to bring up as a member update this week?
Sure. So a couple things. I had a really good conversation with one of the members of the select board about the confusion we had over the that halftime position, and the select.
Brian,
board.
I can't hear you.
Can you guys hear me?
A little soft, but
Okay, sure. I'll bring the mic. So, is this better?
It's better.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, great. So I had a really good conversation with the member of the select board about the confusion between our boards over the halftime position that came up at the town meeting, and select board member was profuse in apologizing and said that they were shocked that we hadn't been informed. They assumed that we had been informed like 6 weeks ago. They agreed that we should never be blindsided, and they were like really falling all over themselves to say, we're sorry, this is not how we want to do it. We agree. And it's like, that's excellent, because I think our two boards really, really want to work together. The town needs that, the town wants it, and I think both boards want it. And so I assured them that I would convey that to this board and smooth the waters, that this was simply a dropped ball. We should figure out, not from a blame point of view, but how the ball got dropped.
Yeah,
So-
how did they expect it to get communicated to us?
That was a little unclear. I got the sense that maybe they thought Alicia would tell us, but I'm not sure. I mean,
Okay.
The gist of it was, yep, ball was dropped. Let's not have the ball dropped again. It was the best piece of marriage advice I ever got was assume good intentions.
Yeah.
And so I assured the select board or this member that I would say to us, assume good intentions, and we'll do that moving forward.
I don't doubt that. I just was more curious to know, what we do to prevent it. So if we were supposed to reach out to someone, if what the channel was. So
Right, someone was supposed to reach out to us, and I think I think both them and us will try to go the extra mile moving forward on things. And in that vein, the select board member mentioned that the high school roof project it's already got 800,000. It looks to be asking for another 4 million. And it's like, where is that in the budget? Where is that in the planning? That's a chunk of change.
Yeah.
So there's that. So that's item one. The other item thing is that I went through I got the packet for that Park and Rec had given to the select board about the whole tennis court project. And I think I've said to some of you in meetings before that I was astonished that cost did not seem to be one of the criterion. And looking at the descriptions of the tennis court, of the high school location and the Cooper Farm location, it seemed to me astonishingly obvious that Cooper Farm was not the right choice. And yet that's how it went. And so I think I want to know, who's the consultant? How did we hire the consultant? What instructions was the consultant given? And moving forward, I think on any project, we need to be on our toes, involved much sooner, involved much deeper, because not every board seems to care. I mean, us and the select board, by catching this, I think we just saved the town $1 million, but we almost didn't. So there you go.
Yeah. Brian, on that one, I think clearly, I communicated with the town administrator and select board as well, right? And that clearly came up last second, right? We were put in the awkward position of, rushing to a decision supporting CPC without having all the info. So, I think that is a theme, something that we communication stuff's great. I'm glad you had that update from one of the members of the select board. I talked to Anthony as well, but clearly we need to make sure that we're, getting back to some of the principles we've already had of, having the departments come in front of us or the boards come in front of us, and we're really having the opportunity to have a conversation, right? And ideally we're having that conversation, understanding the finances of things before the select board has to decide on it, so we can weigh in, give advice, or give thoughts on alternatives or whatever that might happen to be, right? We've just fallen away from that a little bit, but again, I agree, not out of bad intent. We just all need to figure out how to improve, make sure we're all involved in the conversation. So,
right.
Thanks for that.
I'd say moving forward, and I've thought this, been in town for about close to 30 years, and as soon as someone says, I have this big money project and it's going to be so awesome, but we have to move quickly, it's like, nope, we don't. That is the reason for us to slow down, because it's almost always the wrong choice, I think.
All right. Any other updates you had? Any other member updates from you, Brian? Yeah.
No.
All right. Fred, how about yourself?
Couple things. I went to the Finance Committee conference on Saturday down in Sharon. And if you ever want to see a community center, how it should be done, go to Sharon, take a look at it. It's a magnificent building. It houses Park and Rec, most of the boards in town, and a senior center. And it's really, really well done. The conference itself had the standard budgeting workshops and capital planning workshops, but there were two new workshops. One that I went to, one was given by the assessor of Westboro, which is surprising. It's a more upscale town than we are at this point, but surprisingly similar with the amount of industrial that they have going down Route 9, and the rest is residential, and how he manages that balance, which I thought was pretty interesting. And the other workshop I went to was one on climate change and how the state is looking to support towns that are willing to invest in supporting projects to help mitigate climate change. And one of the things that came up that I'm not sure that we avail, or maybe we do, but I'm not sure we avail ourselves of in Littleton, is a municipal vulnerability preparedness grants. The state has something, I don't know, something in the order of 8 or 10 million a year that they give out in these preparedness grants. And they, one of the Fincom members from Williamsburg, which is, for those of you who don't know, is way out in the western part of the state, very small community. And they replaced their fire station. And with these grants, they added a higher level of energy efficiency in terms of windows, insulation, and solar panels and battery backup and generator. And they built a fire station for about $6.5 million. And they got put another $500,000 of state money in for all of these upgrades. So, you know, we've got a senior center that they're talking about putting solar panels on, or other energy efficiency gains, or maybe some way to, you know, write up a grant and get some state money to support that. Just something else going forward. So all in all, I thought it was pretty good. On the downside, my fee wasn't paid, so I had to sort of talk my way in. So it's a discussion for Alicia. And the I thought Alicia's memo mentioned that we might be discussing the MBTA edict, or that the towns put housing within a half mile of the train station. And if that was the case, I thought that should have been a line item on the agenda, because there's no way that any town member looking at our agenda would know that that would be talked about. And I think with all the falderall that went on the last time, the selectmen tried to move forward with the project down there, and they got so much flack that they ended up pulling the article. Was it last year or the year before? That I think whenever that topic comes up, it should be noted on the agenda. Now, Alicia, I guess, isn't here yet, but
Frank.
I'm here. Yeah, no, all I was doing, so I said on my director updates, is just to let you know, all we're discussing is to let you know that there's going to be a meeting. So Maureen sent me an email that I forward to all of you. So she's not here. I don't see her here, to see if you would be available to go, because she wanted a joint meeting. So it wasn't really a discussion, just an invitation. So that's why I didn't think it needed to be a separate item on the agenda.
okay, but going forward, any topics like that, I think should be line items. If you look at the selectmen's agenda, you know, they truly line item everything, so they can't be slammed for, you know, not being transparent. And I think just going forward, I think it's a good practice to be more transparent rather than less transparent. So it's not a big deal. But I just wanted to mention that. Do we have the new Finance Committee handbook, the newest version? They updated it in 2021. And if we don't have it, we should at least get one copy so that it's available to us to review. I don't think every member needs to have their own copy unless they want to, but traditionally, if we have it in the finance director's office, you know, we can stop in if we have a question and look at it. But they did say there were a few changes since the last one. So I personally would like to see what the changes are. And Denise Baker is the contact point for that. I think it's, I don't know, $20 or something to buy it. It's not a big deal, but If you could look into that.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know whether you received the invoice yet from them for the weekend session, but it had not been paid as of Saturday. So maybe they didn't bill you, or maybe it's in the mill. I don't know. But if it's caught somewhere, it should be taken care of. That's all I have.
And just to close the loop, the meeting with Fincom and Select Board and Planning Board on the MBTA is on the calendar for next Wednesday at 6.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and Brian, I suggest when we get to that point, Alicia, in your update, I mean, I would like to, let's hold off on it for now, but we definitely need to confirm whether we'll have a quorum at that meeting, just so we know whether, we can participate and post.
Oh, you can participate as individuals.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
There is.
Right.
So
I think Maren was specific. Yeah, I think Maren Fred was just specifically asking us to come with a quorum so that we could, participate as a board in that and whatever recommendations or votes or whatever. I think she had specifically asked for us to try and show up, as opposed to joint meeting with a quorum. So I just would like to communicate that to her whether we're going to be able to do that or not. And just 3 of us that believe we can make it so far that I know of. But again, let's not jump ahead. Excuse me, Jerry, how about you? Any member updates?
I don't have anything different now.
Okay, great. Tom?
Nope, all good.
Okay, so just 2 quick ones for me. One, the Transportation Advisory Committee is meeting again end of this month. I'm still the representative to that. We still have an open ability to post an alternate if there's interest. The board is struggling with participation. Gary LaCroix had been the chair for a long time and really been the spearhead behind that. A new chair has taken over, but he's departing after being in that role for 6 to 9 months, and no one's really raising their hand to carry that board forward. So again, if anyone's interested in town transportation and would like to, contemplate being appointed to that, there's definitely a need for some leadership and interest there. And then the other thing, just budget subcommittee for the schools is meeting next week, so I'm going to attend that. Kind of one of my departments, but it's been a while since we've been involved in kind of the subcommittee meetings in the afternoon. So that issue you brought up, Brian, I can mention that there, and then it'd be good to get a feel for where they're at. I understand it's still pretty high level at this point, but they've been good about willingness to extend the invitation and let me know when those meetings are going to be. So if anyone else is interested in that, again, let me know and I can forward you those invites. They're in the superintendent's office.
Oh, do you have a list of all the assignments?
Oh, that's a good point, Fred. I do. I apologize if I didn't send that out. I will. I'll send that out as a follow-up. We went through and discussed them at a meeting, but I may not have sent that out. So I'll dig that up and send it out tomorrow.
Right. Yeah, I'd like to see that. I think most of the departments that Steve has, he probably knows more about than any of us. So I'm not sure there'll be much to do there, but I just want to make sure we don't miss anything until he comes back. So if you can send the list out, I'd appreciate it. And then I'll.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
All right. So agenda-wise, we'll jump back now from member ops updates to the finance director update. So Alicia, over to you.
And thank you, Tyler. So tonight, the only real update I really have is Maureen's invitation to the Finance Committee with the consultants for the MBTA community work. It's going to be at 6 o'clock to about 7:30 p.m. in person. She said in either room 103 or the Sturts meeting room. She wanted everybody to know that we were awarded $50,000 emergency assistance planning grant to finalize the work, the multifamily zoning requirements near Foster Street Community Rail Station of the new section. So I was trying to get a good number or let her know how many people were going to go, like you said, Tyler, to see if there's going to be a quorum for a meeting for enough members to be there.
I will be there.
I'm planning on it.
Yeah, I am as well.
Alicia, when is it?
She has it, sorry about that. November 6th.
16?
November 16th, correct. She said it's a very informal workshop, but she wanted you to be there to identify any issues of importance to policymakers.
And what time during the day?
She said 6 to about 7:30 p.m.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
I think,
Tom, here's an opportunity for you to make sure that there's a sub shop in the zoning.
We'll put a,
Chester, right?
and this is an opportunity for us to do what I think we need to do, which is get in there right from the start.
Yep.
yeah. We'll put a DAGS, Brian.
Okay, I think we can find money for that.
So count-wise, Tom, is that something you can attend as well? Okay, so it sounds like we'll be at least at 4. So we should be able to post for the quorum, Alicia.
Okay.
And if it's a training session, I don't understand why we need a quorum, but
yeah, it's a good point, Fred. It's
no policy decisions to be made. So that's fine. You can post it and whatever it is, but I don't
yeah.
know.
Alicia, is the select board, is everyone else posting an open meeting? Is the select board and folks posting for this?
Yeah, she said she wanted a joint meeting, so I'm assuming
Okay.
that I'll post one for you and they'll post one.
Okay. Yeah, and Fred, I don't disagree, Fred. She had specifically requested a joint meeting, so we're all going to be there without her to talk about the rationale. It's just tough to know what the intent was there.
Although I don't know if any of you have driven by there since they put in all those houses in what used to be the Christmas tree area. I was shocked to drive over there and find there's like 50, 60 houses there.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
huge.
Yeah. Yeah, $1 million a pop now.
All right. Alicia, anything else that you had on your finance director update?
The only other thing is we have the tax classification hearing will be December 5th. The info session will be November 21st.
I'm sorry, what session?
The informational session before they have the actual classification hearing, we give them an informational session on the tax rate on the 21st.
Okay.
How are we tracking on the budget counter? I know, we left a lot of the dates a little more fluid this year, right? To kind of track, but are there any concerns, or updates on kind of how we're tracking to what had been rolled out as a budget?
Yeah, so I removed the dates so we wouldn't be constricted. It gave us a little more flexibility. What I've heard from my assessor this year is, and not just my assessor, but another friend of mine who's an assessor, is took a while to get values. The different companies are short. So trying to get values set in a timely manner was difficult this year, but she got it done. She submitted everything. So we're doing well. Some communities are still behind trying to get there. I have everything ready to go. So we should be in a really good spot once a minimum residential factor is chosen for the town. To get our tax rate set. They changed the way they're doing things at DOR. So this summer, while I was at the Eastern Municipal Accountants meeting, a DOR came down and said they are now not doing things in order of importance, but in order of submission. So we are trying to make sure that we are very timely on our submissions to make sure we're at the top to go.
Okay. Anyone have other questions for Alicia?
Oh, and Fred, I'll look into that. I didn't see an invoice, but I'm sure we opened a purchase order and I'll make sure that's paid.
Yeah, no, the purchase order was there, and that's what got me in, because I had printed that out. So that, you referenced the purchase order number, and I said, it's not our fault if you didn't bill the purchase order. So they let me in.
Okay.
All right. Might as well. There's still no one in the audience or attendees, so I guess I was going to revisit public input in case anyone joined, but it seems like we still have an empty lobby. So the last thing we have on our agenda is approval of prior minutes. I know Marilyn sent out minutes from October 25th and November 1st.
And
Go ahead.
after the last, Tyler, after the last meeting, I had resent copies of the July 26th and October 11th. So there should be four
Oh,
sets of
four.
minutes.
Okay. Right. So has everyone had a chance to review the minutes from prior meetings? Any questions or discussion?
No.
Well,
Listen.
just the November 1st ones, it says June 8th at the top.
Oh, I'll have to fix that.
That's right.
Thank you,
That's right.
Jerry.
Thank you. Thank you. I was just noticing that.
I was thinking, I can't think back that far. And I'm like, oh, I don't have to.
No, neither can I.
All right. So would anyone be willing to make a motion to support the minutes of October 25th, November 1st, July 26th, and October 11th with as modified by Jerry just now?
So moved.
Second.
Right. I'll roll call vote since we're on Zoom. Fred?
Sure.
Tom?
Yes.
Jerry?
Yes.
Brian?
Aye.
I'm yes as well, so that is unanimous. So unless anyone else has anything else, I think our next meeting is posted for, well, it'll be for next Wednesday. We'll post for the joint meeting, and then 2 weeks from tonight should be our next regularly scheduled finance committee meeting.
All right. Excuse me. There's just one thought popped into my head for Alicia. Where are we on new growth? Are we on track for that, or?
Yes, so since they select board withdrew the tip for Potpourri
Yeah.
because they were non-compliance with the state, that drove up our new growth. And I believe our new growth is at 1.9 million because of that withdrawal,
Okay.
that tip.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And just for our own planning, it seems very likely that planning board will have, a new bylaw, gun-related bylaw, and that they're going to push for, or they'll be pushed into having a special town meeting. So we can look forward to that in a couple of months, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Alicia, do you mind asking Diane kind of what an estimate of the cost for a special town meeting would be? So because that'll obviously be something that was not budgeted for.
I was talking to Diane about that the other day, and I think when we were talking about, I think it was about 30,000 or more.
Yeah.
Dollars.
Really,
Special town
last time we did this, I thought the number was more like 8,000.
I can ask her again. She gave me the number. It was pretty high.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my ask is let's ask, and then I think that we should just make sure that we're helping to get that information over to the town administrator and assistant town admin to communicate with the select board, just so as they're making their decisions around this, they're making a decision around the financial impacts as well. It's a political issue for sure, right? But
Yeah, our job is just to tell them the number. They can take the politics.
Yeah, exactly, Brian. Right, but just again, if it's going to come in as coming out of somewhere, right? That I just want everyone to make sure that we're making the fully informed decision that we're doing this for quite likely all the right reasons, but it's at a cost of something that wasn't budgeted of 30 grand or whatever that number happens to be. Because I know we rolled a lot more in for details and things like that too. We're moving around stuff, so just a lot to it.
Yep.
All right.
All right. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All right.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Which one of
Brian?
us? Aye.
Tom?
Yes.
Fred?
Yes.
Jerry?
Yes.
All right. I'm a yes as well. Thank you everybody for joining, and